It was supposed to be an ordinary morning, the kind that disappeared into the noise of another busy city day. But one quiet sentence, spoken almost like a warning, changed 2 lives forever. A tired single father carrying a lunchbox in one hand and his little daughter's backpack in the other looked at the elegant woman walking beside him and gave a small, awkward smile before saying that she should be careful because people might think they were together. Instead of stepping away, the powerful CEO looked at him with calm confidence, smiled warmly, and asked if that would really be such a bad thing. Neither of them realized that dozens of eyes had already turned toward them, cameras had begun recording, and a simple moment of kindness was about to become the beginning of a story that would challenge pride, heal old wounds, and prove that love sometimes arrives when people have completely stopped searching for it. Before we begin this emotional journey, please take a moment to like this video, comment below if you believe in kindness and second chances, share this story with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Kindness Stories so you never miss another heartwarming tale that reminds us humanity still exists. Elias Carter had never imagined that life would become so quiet after losing his wife. 3 years earlier, laughter had filled their small apartment every evening. Now the silence often felt heavier than the furniture itself. Every morning before sunrise, he woke to prepare breakfast, braid his 7-year-old daughter Ivy's hair with hands that had learned through countless mistakes, iron school uniforms, pack lunches, and then rush across the city to reach work before anyone noticed he was late. His dreams had quietly faded beneath responsibilities, but his love for his daughter only grew stronger with every sacrifice. The city saw an ordinary maintenance supervisor wearing simple clothes and old shoes. Very few people saw the man who skipped meals so his daughter could attend a better school or stayed awake repairing neighbors' furniture for extra money after finishing long shifts. He had stopped expecting life to become easier. His only goal was giving Ivy a future brighter than his own. Across the city stood the headquarters of Ardent Horizon Group, one of the country's fastest-growing companies. At its top was Serena Vale, a 34-year-old CEO admired for her intelligence and feared for her impossible standards. Business magazines praised her leadership, investors trusted her decisions, and employees respected her discipline. Yet behind every polished interview and successful presentation was a woman carrying invisible loneliness. She had inherited the company after losing both parents within a single year. Since then, work had become her shield against grief. Her calendar was full, her office overlooked the skyline, and her achievements filled newspaper headlines, but no one waited for her at home. Success had brought admiration, yet very little warmth. Their worlds should never have crossed. But fate often chooses the most ordinary places for extraordinary meetings. One bright weekday morning, Ivy accidentally dropped her sketchbook outside a neighborhood bakery. Colorful drawings scattered across the sidewalk just as Serena stepped out after grabbing coffee before an important meeting. Without hesitation, Serena knelt to gather every page while Elias hurried over, embarrassed by the inconvenience. Ivy thanked the stranger with innocent excitement, proudly explaining every drawing as if they were priceless masterpieces. Serena listened patiently, smiling at the little girl's imagination. Elias apologized again, worried they had delayed someone important. As they walked toward the nearby parking area together, he jokingly warned her to be careful because people might think they were together. Serena laughed softly and asked whether that would truly be so terrible. The words were simple, but they carried unexpected warmth into hearts that had forgotten how comforting genuine connection could feel. Neither noticed someone recording the exchange from across the street. Within hours, the short video spread across social media. Millions admired the CEO helping a child without caring about expensive clothes or public image. Others became obsessed with discovering the identity of the humble single father standing beside her. Online speculation exploded. Reporters searched for answers. Business blogs invented stories. Employees whispered through office hallways. Elias hated attention. When co-workers began teasing him after recognizing the video, he felt deeply uncomfortable. He worried most about Ivy becoming overwhelmed by strangers. Serena, however, reacted differently. She refused to deny the moment or hide from public curiosity. During interviews, she simply said kindness required no explanation. Days later, Serena unexpectedly visited one of her company's maintenance projects where Elias happened to be supervising repairs through a contracted team. The entire site froze. Workers nervously adjusted uniforms while managers rushed to impress the CEO. Elias assumed she had forgotten him completely. Their friendship developed naturally after that. Serena occasionally invited Ivy to company family events because the child reminded everyone that businesses existed to improve lives, not merely increase profits. Elias always hesitated before accepting invitations, feeling out of place among wealthy executives. His worn jacket seemed painfully obvious beside expensive suits. Yet Serena never allowed status to define people. She introduced him simply as a hardworking father raising an extraordinary daughter. Not everyone appreciated her attitude. Several board members quietly questioned why the CEO spent time with a maintenance supervisor. Gossip became louder than facts. Some investors worried her public image might suffer. Wealthy acquaintances suggested she deserved someone from similar social circles. Serena ignored every opinion because, for the first time in years, conversations with someone felt honest instead of strategic. Elias remained cautious. Losing his wife had taught him how fragile happiness could be. He feared becoming dependent on moments that might disappear. More importantly, he worried people would accuse Serena of lowering herself or using his family for publicity. Every compliment she offered made him more uncomfortable because he believed they belonged to different worlds. Meanwhile, Ivy noticed something neither adult admitted. Whenever Serena visited, her father smiled more. He laughed again. He cooked better dinners. The apartment slowly filled with tiny signs of hope returning. Even old family photographs no longer made him cry every night. One afternoon, Ivy suffered a severe allergic reaction during a school event. Elias received the call while working across town. Panic overwhelmed him as traffic stood completely still. Unexpectedly, Serena's driver happened to be nearby after dropping her at another meeting. She immediately redirected the car toward the school and reached Ivy before Elias could. She stayed beside the frightened child in the hospital until her father arrived breathless with guilt. Seeing his daughter asleep safely while Serena quietly sat reading beside her changed something inside Elias. For years, he had carried every burden alone. Accepting help had always felt like weakness. But Serena expected nothing in return. She simply cared. Rumors intensified after hospital staff recognized them together. Newspapers created sensational headlines suggesting secret relationships. Television hosts debated whether the country's most admired CEO was dating an ordinary single father. Friends advised Elias to distance himself before damaging Serena's reputation. Instead of creating distance, Serena surprised everyone by attending Ivy's school art exhibition. Parents stared as the famous CEO proudly admired every painting like an ordinary family friend. Ivy's drawing won first prize, not because of Serena's presence, but because it portrayed something beautifully simple: three people walking together beneath a bright daytime sky, holding hands without fear. The title beneath the painting read, "The Family I Hope Finds Me." Elias quietly wiped away tears before anyone noticed. Life, however, rarely changes without one final challenge. A rival executive leaked private information suggesting Serena's decisions had become emotionally compromised because of her growing connection with Elias. Investors panicked. Stock prices briefly fell. The board demanded explanations. Some even proposed temporary leadership changes until the controversy disappeared. For the first time, Serena looked exhausted. Elias blamed himself. Believing he had become the problem, he prepared a letter explaining that he would permanently leave every company-related activity and disappear from her life if it protected her future. He visited headquarters one final time intending only to deliver the envelope. Instead, he found hundreds of employees gathered in the main atrium. Unexpectedly, staff members stood together in support of their CEO. Maintenance workers, receptionists, engineers, accountants, and managers spoke openly about how Serena had transformed company culture through compassion instead of fear. Many shared stories of scholarships, emergency assistance, flexible schedules for struggling parents, and quiet acts of generosity never reported by the media. Then something remarkable happened. Several employees stepped forward describing how Elias had anonymously repaired homes damaged by storms, donated weekends helping elderly neighbors, and mentored young workers without expecting recognition. The board realized neither person had built their reputation through wealth or titles. They had earned respect through character. The accusations collapsed under the weight of truth. Weeks later, Serena organized a community celebration honoring volunteers rather than executives. Cameras again surrounded them. As they walked through the event together beneath clear blue skies, Elias smiled nervously and quietly reminded her that people would probably think they were together. This time, Serena simply reached for his hand. No dramatic announcement followed. No carefully prepared speech. No extravagant proposal. The applause rising from volunteers, children, employees, and families said everything words never could. Months passed. The city gradually lost interest because real happiness rarely creates endless headlines. Yet inside one small apartment, life transformed completely. Ivy laughed louder than ever. Elias accepted a leadership role managing community outreach programs funded by Serena's company. Together they renovated playgrounds, supported struggling parents, and created scholarships honoring those who quietly served others. Their greatest achievement wasn't becoming famous. It was proving that dignity has nothing to do with income, that kindness carries greater influence than power, and that two wounded hearts can build something stronger than either ever imagined alone. Many years later, Ivy stood on a graduation stage delivering a speech about courage. Looking toward the audience, she saw the man who had sacrificed everything for her and the woman who had shown him that accepting love did not erase the memory of the past. It honored it by choosing hope again. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with your family and friends, leave a heartfelt comment telling us what kindness means to you, and subscribe to Kindness Stories so together we can continue spreading hope, compassion, and second chances to people around the world. Special request: before this story ends, please comment with the words, "Kindness always wins," to inspire everyone reading the comments and remind someone today that hope is never lost. As the evening of that unforgettable graduation faded into another peaceful day, Elias looked at Serena and Ivy walking a few steps ahead beneath a bright, clear sky. Years earlier he had believed his happiest days had ended forever. Yet life had quietly written a better ending than he ever dared imagine. Sometimes the greatest miracles do not arrive with noise or celebration. They begin with a small act of kindness, a genuine smile, and one simple question that changes everything forever: would that really be so bad? And from that moment on, 3 ordinary lives became one extraordinary family, proving that love often finds those who have spent the longest time believing it never would.